Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. We that turtle channel. We about to freaking hit 100 YouTube uploads. What the freak? And I'm Lucci and I'm. Nice to meet you. But thank you so much for believing in me and me being in this for just over a few years, 2 years. Not a few years, but 2 years, and we're about to reach 100 uploads. And that's crazy. I just dropped my bottle, but that's crazy. Like 100 uploads are out in the world, out in the abyss of YouTube, and could possibly reach people and help them, and our family will grow and help each other. And I'm just blown away with myself that I was able to reach that feat, and we're only just gonna keep rising and keep pushing together as a family. It's been ages. It's been like freaking years, but I've had a really long day these couple of days. We're gonna be moving in 2 weeks. My brother just started college. He's doing the summer term, so he's gonna be in college for about 6 weeks, and then he's gonna come back home. So I'm kind of alone right now, but I'm back on the YouTube, and we're here to give a story time. But before we get into that, I was reading content about YouTube and stuff like that, and there was this core about YouTube slowing down. We all go through it, we all face it. It's not even just blogging, it's just anything you do, whether it's your grades, or you're an artist, or you're anything you do in life, you're gonna slow down. It's not up, it's a spiral. You go up and down. And then there's this post on core on it that really hit me. It talked about how being noticed on YouTube is almost impossible. It's kind of you're a grain of sand in this huge sandbox. And I was like, dang, that's a really good analogy, to be honest. And they said the only way you're gonna stand out is if you're doing something that is making you different. You're not doing what everyone else is doing. And really at the end of the day, it's just you have to stick with something, and you have to work 10 times harder than other people that are doing the exact same thing as you. For example, most people in my niche, actually, I think everyone that does my niche doesn't even freaking have a podcast. I have a podcast, you see. That makes me stand out. I'm working a little harder than everyone. I upload pretty constantly. I do story times of my life, yeah. And I just try my best to work way harder than my competition, even though they are older than me, smarter than me, probably. They have their degree and 10K blogging. But yeah, today's story time, and this story time was something that I haven't talked about yet, and it's a really, really crazy one, and I think it will hopefully help you. Hopefully this will help someone. Hopefully it will entertain you, and we're gonna get into it. So before we get into it, I did do an Instagram poll about do you prefer story times of if I'm actually looking at you right now, talking to you, or if I'm doing something, whether that's eating or playing video games. Maybe the next story time, which I think I'm gonna upload today, is gonna be me talking, but I'm probably gonna be doing something on the side, just to kind of keep things going, keep things in the air. But this story time is a big pivotal moment in my life. It really shaped me. It was a huge experience, and it was a lot. It was a really big experience. And this story time took place about 5 years ago. I was in the 5th grade at that point. And before we did the Tropicana speech program, because that's the story, I was a really big writer. Like I said, I wrote a lot, and writing helps me through a lot of crap that I've been through, and everything I've been through, writing just helped me cope. And before I did the program, it was I don't know what it's called. I don't know the name of it. It was we had the what we celebrate. Some people celebrate Christmas, some people celebrate Kwanzaa, some people celebrate Hanukkah, stuff like that. So we made poems for a specific culture that we celebrate, holiday. That's the word. And I had this really crazy poem. I think I did New Year's Eve. Yeah, I did New Year's Eve, and I talked. I don't think it was. Yeah, I think it was New Year's Eve. And then I did this really big poem, and they voted on the people who were going to be sharing it to a huge audience, a huge group of people. Like there was literally hundreds of people, and I think it was held in like the lunchroom or like the gym somewhere. And people were going to be seated, and you were going to be on a stage, literally talking to a group of people. And I didn't know that yet. I just thought like, you're just going to be voted to, have this speech, and you just got that ounce of pride, but you had to present it. And I was one of the people that were voted to present, and there was like 3 other people that were going to be presenting, and I was petrified, like literally petrified. Like the teacher in my class was like, "Okay, you're next, and then they voted 4 people, and I think it was like a raise hand kind of vote, like raise your hand if you want this person, raise your hand if you want that person. And my English teacher that I had, and I think it was like the way it worked. Yeah, I think the way it worked was like, it was one teacher that taught like 3 subjects or something like that. Miss Wilkinson, that lady been through a lot. She lost her son in a car accident. This is turning into a ramble at this point, but it's really important for the next part. And she lost her son during like a car accident in the rain, and like the car literally flipped over, and like she was a mess. Like everyone started hugging her, and like at the lunchroom, and it was really sad. But she said Miss Wilkinson was one of the best teachers I could ask for. And no, it was Miss Wilkinson was my English teacher, and then I had another teacher, Mr. I don't remember his name, but it was Mr. something. He taught math and science. There we go. And then I was voted to present, and in my head, it was telling me should I present? They said, yeah, do it. And then I told myself, I can't do this. Like, I can't do this. I didn't do it. I didn't want to do it. And then they said, come on. Like, people in the class were like, come on, you got this. You're a really good writer. You can do this. You have to believe in yourself. And I said, no, I can't do this. I can't. And my heart was pounding. My stomach had butterflies. My body was shaking. Like, I was going to freaking pass out on campus. And I don't remember some of the people's names, but I think I was like the only male that was supposed to present. The rest were like 3 other girls, and they said, come on. And I think one of the girls was like Lola, Layla, something like that. And then I say, no, I'm not gonna do it. And then I said, can you tell the teacher for me? I was a nervous wreck. I was so shy, I couldn't even tell the teacher I can't do this. So they went to the teacher and said, he's not going to present the speech. He's too nervous. He's shy. He can't do it. He doesn't want to do it. And then the teacher said, come on, you're really, really talented. You're a great writer. You got this. You know this. You know how to speak. You can do this. And I was like, I know. I can't. And the look on her face when I told her I'm not going to do it, it was a mixture of sadness, disappointment, blankness. And I never felt like I disappointed someone in such a long time, but I felt like I failed that teacher. I failed my class. I failed myself. And I failed God, because God probably was trying to push me to do this, but I couldn't do it. So the whole class, actually the whole 5th grade, went over. So the way it worked is like, we were all in front of the stage, kind of in the back, and the people who were going to present were going to come up, and it was like different teachers, different classes, and I was like, holy crap. And when I looked at the stage and I looked at the people, the parents were there, teachers, staff were there, all ages, all cultures, all skin colors, all walks of life. And I was like, yeah, I was not going to freaking do this. And it was like different cultures. Like, it was like each, like holiday / culture / what you celebrate was going to be like kind of like highlighted, and you had to present. And I was like, I'm not doing this. And I think, yeah, that's how it worked. It was kind of like a celebration kind of thing. Like, people would come up and say, I celebrate this. Oh my God, there's a bug. And then they'll come and then talk in front of the microphone. I celebrate that. And then they would walk back and then celebrate this. And there was like music in the background. People were cheering. And I think I said something really quickly, and then I walked back. And then, and when the music ended, everyone talked about what they celebrated. It came the poems of what people celebrate and how their family does stuff. And I, of course, didn't present. And there was people coming up, and I was kind of in the back somewhere. I don't remember, but I was in the back and watching like everything that happened. And you know, there's like I say, I'm rambling right now. There's some stuff I might forget and I might say later. You know, I'm rambling. Like, this is from my memory, what I know, and you know, what I've been through. Like, my life has been really crazy, and despite how long I've lived, like, you might even think I make this crap up, but this is real. Like, you think I make this stuff up, but no, it's real. But you know, two girls came up, and I think there was like a male and then two other females and then another male, and then it showed us. And I don't know why they were grouping me with like a culture that I don't necessarily celebrate. Like, they put the Kwanzaa culture, and then like they put like anyone that was black that was gonna come up, like they said my name and then this other like female black girl, and I was like, what was the point of that? Like, is it like to like group people up? I didn't really like the way that was like, I didn't really like how that was like set up. Like, just have me go up, it doesn't matter, you have to highlight this random culture, you know. That I didn't really like that. But they said next is, they called my name, and then they called the girl's name, and then they said he's not presenting, and they said, oh, okay. And oh my god, I was shaking, and I think like almost the whole crowd looked at me. I think that's what I remember. The whole crowd literally looked at me, and then like the girl even looked at me, and she looked kind of upset, because she was like, dang, no one's gonna freaking help represent me. And I was just so upset. And then she started talking about what she celebrates. She was talking about Kwanzaa, but I don't celebrate that. I celebrate New Year's and Christmas. And then she started talking. She was really good. She knew, she was sharp. She knew what she was talking about, and she was confident, and she didn't show any fear, even if, you know, she was probably scared inside. She didn't show it on the outside. And then there was other people presenting, you know, Chinese New Year. People were talking about winter solstice, summer solstice. Some people were talking about Hanukkah and all of that. And I was like, dang, these people know how to speak. They're so sharp. And this school I used to go to was called Hidden Oak. I don't remember where it was. I don't remember where it was, but yeah, it was called Hidden Oak Elementary. And I'm just kind of disgusted with myself. Like, I didn't take up for myself. I didn't take that initiative to really go up there and present. Like, if I would have done that, like, that would have like changed the game for me. Like, that would have been everything if I actually had the confidence to go up there and present. But I froze, and I froze. And then I switched schools, and I went to another school here. I was here now, and I was so upset to move. I didn't want to leave everyone. I had so many good friends. I loved everyone, but we had to move. We had to go. And then I was at another school, and then I switched schools, and this was the school I go to. And then, well, actually, scratch that. I was still in 5th grade. I didn't switch schools yet. And then I was, you know, doing my normal classes, getting to know the teachers, and, you know, the teachers were really strict. Like, I was still, you know, that shy person, you know, big mind, you know, small voice kind of person. And then a few days later, this teacher came in, and she said, okay, hi, today, I have a very special announcement to give. And I think it was like the counselor or something like that. And she was like, that we have this competition coming up in a few months, and it's called the Tropicana speech program. And basically, it's a competition where schools go against each other to present their speech. One person out of the whole school represents their school and competes against other people representing their a specific school. And I was like, ooh, this is really cool. And I was just like, and as she was speaking, my mind completely blanked. It completely brought me back to that experience where I should have presented to that audience, but I was just so scared and so petrified and so apprehensive and had so much trepidation that I didn't even do it. But this one, I presented. This one, I was like, I'm gonna do this. And she started saying stuff like, I don't remember her name. I think it was like Miss Green or like Miss, I don't remember her name, like, but she was Caucasian, and she was a little older. And she started saying, like, you know, you know, it doesn't matter the topic. It doesn't matter the topic. What's going to make you get the points and make you win and get, you know, the trophy is how well you present it. Are you confident? Are you likable? Are you relatable? Do you know how to carry yourself, basically? It's not about the topic, because there was a girl who won by just talking about, you know, how she had like a day with her dog. That's all she presented. She just presented that speech, and she said you can have notes, scratch paper and notes with you to present to the speech. And yeah, so today you guys can, if anyone wants to come, you can raise your hand, and then we'll take you guys to another classroom, and we're gonna do this. And then they said, anyone up for any takers? Any takers? And like very few people raised their hand. A lot of people raised their hand, like, boom, like what the freak, they raised it. And then me, I was like, I looked at what everyone else was doing, and then I slowly but surely raised my hand, like, I guess I'll do it. And then and then everyone was like, what? He's doing it. And I was still new. I was only at this school for a few days. And then I said, okay, if everyone that wants to do this, come to this other classroom and we'll take you. And I remember on my first day, like, I met like some people that actually live in my neighborhood. They've moved now, but I've made some pretty decent friends, and they were just really crazy, really nice. And I came in and it's like, okay, what topic am I going to talk about, write about? And the topic I came up was how to be eco-friendly. You know, I was kind of like that hippie, eco-friendly, go green person, and everyone called me like hippie and like, you know, eco-friendly and all that, gave me that nickname. And then, yeah, I came in, and there was a lot of other people from other classrooms that came in to do it. And it was kind of intimidating. It was kind of nerve-wracking, like, to see how many people really were gonna do this. And I was like, dang, these people are gonna do this. And then there was another staff that was talking, like, basically going over, today's basically your brainstorming planning day. You're going to be writing about anything, you know, whether it's what you believe in, what you've been through, a story. It can even be a story. It can be made up, anything, really anything. And I was like, okay, this is the topic. I said eco-friendly. I said, what am I going to talk about? I had a plan. I had my hook. I had my everything. And I started brainstorming, writing. And then, like, the staff teacher started coming around, really young woman. And she looked like she was about even in her 20s, 30s. I think she was, like, even like an intern. And she started walking around, going around, like, checking on everyone, saying, how's everyone doing? How's everyone doing? And then she came to me, and then she said, what's your name? I said my name, Nick. And she said, hi, Nick. What are you going to be writing about? I said, I was really shy when I was speaking. I was soft-spoken, and I was like, I'm gonna be writing about eco-friendly, like how to go green. It's like, oh, that's really interesting. I never heard someone talk about that, because my number one like way that I felt like I was gonna really have a chance at this is stand out. Water. All right. I wanted to stand out because I had a feeling a lot of people were going to talk about, like, bullying or anxiety or cyberbullying. I felt like that was way too common. Yes, that's a great topic, but I didn't want to kind of fade into the mold of everybody else. So I wanted to do my own thing, basically. So I wanted to do what I believed in, which is going green and stuff like that. And I was really into this stuff for, like, researching, like, how to go green, because when I get older, I really want to live eco-friendly, and I just want to live sustainably. And she's like, okay, so what kind of stuff are you talking about? And I said my first sentence was like, hey, don't litter that, you know, you can freaking cause a landfill, it adds up. That was kind of like my hook. And it's like, nice hook. I was like, thanks. And then I started getting really in-depth about how water bottles, I'm being a hypocrite right now, but most of the water bottles and plastic and metals, like, you know, canned stuff, have something called BPA in it. BPA is a chemical that can be, like, really, really toxic, and it's found in, like, kind of like the lead, or like kind of like the rim of, like, certain water bottles and stuff like that. And it's just toxic, and when you litter it, it can, like, almost be, like, impossible to, like, you know, decompose in the soil and decompose in the grass. And I say, you know, it's important to use biodegradable material, and to go vegetarian, and to use less energy, and to, you know, conserve energy, basically. And she's like, dang, you know your stuff, you're smart. And I was like, thank you, I try. She said, yeah, you're doing a good one. I'm gonna go on to the next person, but I'm loving your speech right now. I can't wait to see what else you got going on. And then there was this other girl. named Jada, who came up to me and said, oh dang, look at you freaking doing this. And I said, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro, like I didn't think you were gonna freaking do this. And I was like, I mean, I'm gonna do this for me. And the way she said it, she was like, who do you think you are, like thinking you're gonna do this? Like you freaking like just that little person who can't even talk and like get to a person, like to one person, like you like this shy little nothing piece of crap, basically. I was like, you know what? And I said in my head, like, I don't even care what this person says. Like, this is my moment. And no one's gonna take it away from me. And this is the time. I feel like God made this scenario so that I can kind of, you know, reconcile the old me. And I wish I would have said to my old me that what they needed was a little more confidence and a little more loving themselves, believing in themselves, because in this moment I was starting to branch out into who I was, and that was, I can speak and I can fight for what I believe in if I have the voice to say something. So I started brainstorming and writing, and then another girl, this was the girl in my neighborhood who came in and said, hey Nick, you doing your speech? And I was like, hey. And she said, what is your topic about? And then I said, it's about eco-friendly, go green. I was like, of course, like I remember you always talking about that, like there you go. And then she read my first sentence, and then she said, I told her, what are you going to be talking about? And she said, I'm still trying to think of something. And then she said, can I read your first sentence? And then she read my first sentence and said, no littering. Hey, don't litter there. That could cause a landfill. And she said, nice. I'm going to take what you just said and use it. She literally stole my first sentence. She literally stole my speech pretty much. And she took it from eco-friendly to littering. She made her speech about littering. And like I wanted to go off on this freaking person. Like, like, you stole my speech, stole my freaking speech, like you freaking crazy. But she stole my speech. She took my speech and basically made it her own littering. And I think it actually like took, like when after like our half of the period, like the other half of the school period, we were basically doing this, and I was writing my speech, and I cut out that person who said I didn't think you were going to do this. I cut out that other girl, her name was Savannah. I cut her out saying, you know, freak it, steal my speech, I don't give a crap. Like it doesn't even matter the topic. Like it's like so many people are doing bullying. Why did I get so worked up? Like I think I actually remember saying, like, I don't really care that you stole my speech, because there's so many people probably doing the same topic, and it doesn't matter the topic. Like the supervisor person said, it's how you carry yourself, how you speak, and how you are you sharp, and do you have your head straight, basically. So, you know, I came home, I talked to my parents saying, okay, they just towards like the end of the school day, they started talking about this Tropicana speech program, and like I wanted to basically get in this, and they were like, dang, you got do it. And I said, here's my speech. I read it to them, and they said, this is really nice, I like your speech. And then I started reading it, and I started like talking to myself, presenting it, you know, to myself, and talking to myself, and just kind of just coming into myself and reading this speech and just getting into the swing of things, and remembering like it's this speech doesn't define who I am, and who I am doesn't define this speech. It's who I am is going to make or break this speech, basically. So I kept telling myself that. So the next day we were going to present our speeches to the classroom, and I was like, no freaking way, not again. Like, this is where I freeze and break down and pass out. And they said, okay, I think we had like class again, and then at the same time where we were gonna do some Tropicana speeches, like yesterday, we came again, and then all of us came into this classroom, and oh my God, I was scared. And then actually, let me go back. Like I said, I tend to go back. Let me go back. I remember the girl who said, like, oh, I don't think you're going to do this. She actually gave up. She actually quit the speech. Like, there's some people who came in and saw what this was, like, what this really took, and they bailed. They basically said, I'm getting the freak out of here. Like, I ain't doing this. This is too freaking much. And they kind of thought you were just going to present to the school, but you're presenting, like, in front of people to the county, pretty much. So they bailed, and only a few people really were going to do it. So the littering speech girl, she stayed in this, and then people started presenting, and next up was me. And I was like, oh God, it's me. And I actually remember writing an essay on this, about a narrative in class about this experience, and it's on my Instagram story. I want to see if I can find it real quick. You know, I'm gonna try my best not to edit this video. I'm just gonna be real and authentic right now. So it was me writing in stories. There we go. Personal narrative, overcoming fears and obstacles. So yeah, I think that's this speech. I'm gonna see if I can find it on my pages. But yeah, they knew, like, pretty much the classroom knew, like, this guy don't know how to speak. This guy don't know how to freaking talk in front of people. Like, this guy ain't got this. Like, he probably a good writer, but he doesn't know how to speak his mind and speak stuff. And I cut out what people thought, and I was next. And I was frightened. And I came up to the class, and I had my speech ready. And they said, okay, Nick, what's your topic going to be? And I said, my topic is going to be about going green, being eco-friendly. I was like, ooh, nice topic. And then everyone kind of looked at me like I was like a freaking weirdo. I think that's what I remember. And then I'm going to see if I can find this speech. I don't think I can find it. Yikes. I think I deleted it. Shoot. Yeah, I think I'm just going to have to read it from the Instagram stories. But it's kind of like cut out. I can't really read it that well. But I came up to the class, and they said, okay, we're going to time you. You have 2 minutes to present your speech. Whenever you're ready, we're going to hit go, and you're going to start speaking. And I remembered, like, I'm not going to read like this, because so many people, like, they had beautiful speeches, but they literally were speaking like this. They didn't even look at the audience. They just were reading their paper. And I remembered, I need to have charisma. I need to be funny. I need to be relatable. I need to be fun. Shoot, I need to be fun. So I kept the paper, and I made sure to look at the audience from time to time, looking this way, looking that way, looking this way, looking at the teacher, looking, just looking at people, showing eye contact as I presented. And then I started presenting, and I remember the narrative, I kind of like made some stuff up so that it can be a little more fun, but from the writing for the essay. So, and then I presented, and I said, the first sentence, I said it with like such glee and like excitement. I just try to really have energy, and I said, hey, don't litter, it can cause a landfill. And I started talking about like the BPA, and I started talking about wear biodegradable clothing, and just, caring about how to take care of our earth, going vegetarian, eating less animal products or no animal products at all. And people started they were like, I don't know if it's the word flabbergasted. I don't think that's the word, but they were just blown away. Like, they were like people's mouths started like dropping, and people were looking like, what the freak, this guy is freaking amazing. And then as I finished my speech, and I think the last sentence was like, before you think about throwing a water bottle in the landfill again, think about how that can affect you and the environment and the world as a whole. And I think I finished my essay like that. And then everyone were like clapping, like, whoa, like they were cheering. And I remember the girl who talked about littering, like, she said, hey, don't throw a thing at the landfill. It can cause a landfill. And I think it was kind of like first come, first serve. So I think I went second, because usually the way I work is like, I want to see someone else do it, so I kind of see how they do it, so that I can kind of like see how this works. But sometimes I just lead the charge, and I'm like, hey, I want to go first. So, and I finished the speech, everyone started clapping, everyone started saying, you are so smart, you're such a good writer, and you're such a good speaker. And I was like, dang, I didn't think you could do this. I was like, thank you. And then they said, okay, so they said, I think the way it worked was like, not everyone was in one classroom. I think different people doing a speech were held in different classrooms, so it wouldn't cause like a freaking override of like not millions, what am I saying, but like hundreds of kids in one room, like, hey, that's not really realistic. So they said, okay, we're going to be reviewing these speeches and see who was going to be going to present the speech to the county, basically. And I remember like looking at everyone else's speech and seeing what they were presenting. Some people were talking about, a normal day to them, bullying. Some people talking about eating healthy. Some people talked about animal poaching, and it was just so crazy. Some people talked about church. Some people talked about what they've been through. But just a lot of stories. And then, a few minutes later, they said, okay, we're back. And I think the firm representative that is going to be presenting the speech for the county is Nick. And when I heard that, I was like, wait, what? Can you say that again? And they said, yeah, it's you. And I'm like, no, there's obviously had to be someone better than me. And they said, no, you're going to be presenting for the county. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. What the freak? I don't remember like how I reacted. I was like, I smiled, but I was so like nervous. Like I didn't go crazy and jump up and down. But I remember when I got home, I went crazy. And everyone started clapping. Everyone started saying, good job. Like, you deserved it. And I remember some people just looking at me in disgust. They're like, this guy, like, what the freak? And then I remember some people were just really, like, they were frozen and quiet. And then they said, okay, we're done. We're done here. And we got this. It's done. And I remember, like, this was something you could do like over and over again if you didn't make it to the finals. Because I remember there was a lot of people that started crying and started like freaking throwing a tantrum and saying like, I did this 3 freaking times and I never freaking got it, F whoever who's gonna do it, freak them, I deserved this. And I remember people saying like, how did that person get it? Like, I deserved that. And I was just like, dang, these people, what the freak? Like, I just tried to duck them. I ducked them. No joke, ducked them. And then I think it was the end of the school day, or I think I went to last period after, and they said, okay, what happened? I said, I made it. I'm going to be going to the finals. And then I think I came home, I told my parents about it, and they said, okay, we need to like tell the family and tell everyone and tell the church and tell people, you made this, you're going to be presenting. And like the church we went to, like before it was we kind of had a falling out with this church. I don't know if I want to talk about it here, but the people that were gonna be the people, because my cousin was still living with us at that time, and then our church friends wanted to like basically come over to see me present the speech and just basically support me and be my extra leg kind of. And then there's like, yes, we're at the church and then talking about it. And I think I don't remember, like I think the speech, I think this is what happened. We went to church that Sunday, and then after church, like later tonight that Sunday, we were going to be going to the speeches. And my mom texted, the church and texted the family, and you said, Nick's going to be doing this. He's going to be presenting his speech to the people. And they said, okay, before you even think about doing this, you're going to need to present your speech to just at least us. We need to hear this. And then, I basically presented my speech to Dad and Mom and my cousin and my brother, and I started presenting this, and then my dad, as I kept presenting, my dad was like, yeah, this is good. Like, that's all he kept saying as I'm presenting it. And he said, yeah, you're going to win this. And I was like, oh, I hope so, shoot. And the day came, we were going to be presenting. And I was dressed up in my suit, in my shoes, and the church people came, and they said, you looking nice. You got your note cards ready to present? I was like, yep, I'm ready. And I came in that room. Ooh, dang, what was that? Shoot, I think that was what came from here. But we drove over to the county place, and it was kind of like stranded in the middle of nowhere, kind of. And it was like kind of like, I don't know how to describe the room, but it was like a small room kind of, and there was a stage, and there was like a bunch of seats over there, and then there was like the checkout to check in to say like, okay, this is basically, you're gonna be presenting your speech. And then I came up and I saw another person that goes to my school and presented a speech, but they weren't in my classroom. They were probably somewhere else. And I was like, I thought there was only one person that was supposed to win this and present. And actually, we're going to go back again. This is what happened. This is actually what happened. After it was Friday or Thursday, before any of this happened, Friday or Thursday, as I won, we were gonna have to go on the announcements, basically in front of like the announcements on camera for the school, and they were basically gonna be talking about the people who were gonna be doing the Tropicana speech program. And actually, I think the way it worked, it was two people for a grade, or like one person, and there was this other girl named Gabby, I think Gabby, and she talked about overcoming anxiety. Basically, her story was about overcoming adversities, overcoming, I didn't really know what that word meant. I remember when I came up to, when she went to present her speech, I was like, what does that word mean? And my mom said, it means something you're facing. It's basically like a struggle that you're facing. I was like, oh, that's a really good one. And then two people came up and they said, okay, you guys are going to be coming for the announcements. Can you come? I think I got checked in by the announcements, and they said, come over. You're going to be on the TV for the news thing for the school. And then I came up, and then the other girl came up. I was like, wait, I thought there was only one person. And they said, and then they said, no, I think there's only two people. I think that's what the staff said. I don't really remember. I'm trying my best to remember this. And then there was a girl, she presented her speech first, really small, really short girl, very sweet. And she also went to school with me a few years after, and she started becoming this crazy person, really sweet, really bubbly. But back then she was really shy and really demure, but she started to get out of her shell a little bit more. And then she presented her speech about it, and I was like, that's a good speech. And before, the title was Overcoming Anxiety. And then when she went up to present the final speech, it was Overcoming Adversity. And I think I changed the title of my speech. I don't remember. And I presented my speech, and we were done. And everyone started clapping. I don't remember, like, of course I didn't hear it because I wasn't in the classroom, but probably people clapped and came. And then I came back in the classroom, like, that was a really good speech. I really loved your speech. I was like, thank you. And then they said, after that Friday, we went, Saturday. It was Saturday. I presented my speech to the family. We went over that. It didn't happen that Sunday. And then Sunday, we went to church. We had a normal church day. And after church, I was going over my speech, reading it, getting in the mood of it. Water again. And then we drove. Everyone was dressed up. My cousin came. My dad came. Not my dad. My dad was at work, and then he was still working at a hospital, but he works at a clinic now. My mom came. My brother came. My cousin came. The church friends came. Some of the ladies came. Some of the people who worked at the tech room came, and some people even recorded my speech, and some people even, like, no joke, edited my speech and, like, presented it to the church on the prompter thing, and people saw my speech, basically. So we came, and then I saw the girl, and I was like, okay, I guess we're both going to be presenting. I guess it's not one person. And then I came up to check in. She was already checked in, and I think she was sitting down, or she was in a line by the stage. And there was other people from other schools, very sharp people, like, wow, sharp. They were sharp. And I came to this black lady. She was, like, standing up on a desk, and she was like, hi, sweetie, are you coming for the Tropicana speech program? And I was like, yes, ma'am. And then I said, I'm here with my family, and I'm here with 3 people. And I said, okay, what school do you go to? And I said the school, and she's like, say the school again? And then I said the school. And then they said, Value, that was the school, name of the school. And I said, we're sorry, but only one person can compete per school. And I was like, I thought, but what our school said, only, like, 2 people maximum. And they said, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna allow you to speak, but we're gonna try to, like, fit you in somewhere in the time that we got available. But, it's basically how the system works. It's only one person per school. I was like, what the freak? Like, the time that I am going to overcome my fear of public speaking, my fear of shyness, is today. And I don't want any mishap. I don't want anything happening. I don't want anything to screw up on my day. And this happens. And I was like, I tried to stay calm. I took deep breaths, many deep breaths. And then the family and then the church people said, okay, calm down, you got this. And then I think we had to wait outside a little bit, or I think like we had to wait at this room basically, and they said, okay, calm down, you're gonna present, you're gonna do this, we're praying for you, you got this. And I was like, okay. I was so freaking nervous. And I wore glasses at that time. I was shy, I was soft-spoken, and I was and then they said, okay, we have a spot for you, and yeah, you're gonna be presenting. It's two people. You guys are the only people for the school that's two people when everyone else is one. But that's okay. It was a minor miscommunication from your school, when the communication here was supposed to be one person per school. But you're gonna present. You're okay. You're fine. And I was like, oh, thank God, thank the Lord. And then everyone started taking their seats, and the people that were presenting also took their seats. And they said, okay, everyone presenting their speech, please raise your hand. And then I raised my hand, and there was like judges, and there was like this kind of like this person, going to be like, the spokesperson basically. There was a spokesperson. And they said, okay, basically the guidelines of this speech is, you have to present a speech within 2 minutes. Make sure, we're grading you on your confidence, your volume, your tone. Yeah, I can't find this speech. Sorry about that. I just lost storage. I had to like delete a few photos. I'm recording from my phone. But yeah, I'm reading a little bit of this speech, and I'm like, wow, it's crazy I remembered. But they were coming up, and then I remember like my cousin talking to me about, got this, stay relaxed, make sure you show your eye contact, make sure you are basically just having fun, just make sure you're enjoying yourself basically, and people will enjoy themselves. And my brother was like, if people freaking laugh at you or look at you weird, like, I'm gonna go on them. That's my brother, and I was like, thank you. And then my mom was like, yeah, you got this. I'm gonna be cheering you on. And then they were talking to me as we were sitting down, and then I remember like my friend's brother also was presenting, so they were kind of like, hey, what's up, is your brother presenting? And I was like, yeah, he is. And I was like, dang. And I think they went to another school at that point. And so yeah, they said, okay, raise your hand if you're gonna be presenting. And then I raised my hand, and then I think I remember when they were saying my name, I think they pronounced it wrong and even spelt it wrong. And I was like, this happens all the time. Like, the way my last name is, like, people always pronounce it and spell it wrong all the time, and it's really annoying. But what can you say? What can you do? It's just my last name is really original. So I came up, and they said, we're going to be doing a mic check. We went over the rules. Everyone's going to be doing a mic check test. Just say test to the mic, and we're going to see like how tall you are, to make sure like when you sit on the stool, like, you're not too short, you're not too tall, you're just the perfect height. And then they said, okay. I went up, I said test, and I said it so quietly, and I said it like so soft-spoken, and I was like, I hate my voice. When I heard my voice like echo, I was like, I hate it. And then other people started saying test, and then they said, okay, everyone tested. Now we're going to be going in order of school, and the first person is, and then they did it. That person presented. Some people presented stuff about animal poaching. Some people presented about like what it's like in New York. And I remember someone said like the Big Apple, and that was their title. And they said, not the apple you eat, the Big Apple, New York. And I was like, oh my God, that's so freaking funny. And then there was another person who talked about animal poaching. There was someone who talked about Martin Luther King, and a lot of people just were really dedicated to their speech, the way they spoke, the way they presented it. They didn't care if they pissed people off. They didn't care if like they got weird looks. They had so much passion. And there was some people who presented it. Some people were like, they weren't nervous, but they were trying to make eye contact so much to the point where they lost place in their speech. And there were some people who were shaking. There were some people who were quiet. There were some people who were sharp. There were some people who were just they freaking owned it. They owned the show. And after like a few speeches came, I went up and I said good job to the people who kind of sat next to me and presented their speech. And they were high-fiving their family, high-fiving their siblings, anyone who went with them. And then I was next, and then a few people started clapping. The family started clapping, the church people started clapping, and people started recording me, the family and the church people. And I said, whoa, and then they were just clapping. And then I walked, and it was just a quietness. And then I walked with my paper, with my speech, and I came up. And it's a lot more different when you are rehearsing at home and talking in front of your family because you know them. But when you actually present in front of people you never even talked to or know, it's a lot more different than if you were presenting at your own home or even in front of a classroom, because like you don't know any of these people. They're older than you. You don't know. That's why public speaking is more fear than dying. It's not because of the fear of the public speaking. It's the fear of what are people thinking in their minds. We don't know the opinions that people have in their minds. Like, do people hate us? Do they love us? Are they judging us? Like, we don't know. People are kind of judging us in our heads, and we don't know what they're thinking about. So that was my fear. And I also had the fear of failure, but now I embrace failure because it helps me learn and grow and, take risks. So I presented my speech, and my number one thing was just enjoy myself and make eye contact. So I said the first sentence with so much passion and pride and tried to just show confidence. And then I started presenting my speech, and I was like, I didn't think, like, it would have been smarter if I had note cards, because that would have been easier to look at the audience. I could have, read one note card, and then as I went to the last sentence, I could have looked at the audience, or I could have read the first sentence, looked at the audience, and then finished. But I did my paper, and that was a little harder to go through. And a really good method for public speaking, if you're using a paper, is have like your finger on a line that you're about to go to the next if you're looking at the audience, and so you don't lose your place. Because what started happening when I was presenting my speech, my start was really, really strong. I started really strong, and I was just confident, and I felt like, I guess people, they had a good, they looked like they were enjoying it. I mean, they some people were smiling, some people, I think some people gave some weird looks, but I started to lose my place in the speech because I was giving so much eye contact that I froze. And I think it wasn't the fact that I lost my place. I was nervous, and I froze, literally froze. And then the family thought like I froze because I was nervous, but most of the time I froze because I lost my place in the speech. And I was like, oh crap, I froze. Did that come off as a curse word? Beep, beep, beep. I freaking like, I blew it. I just think I blew my chance of winning this, and I just, I didn't care. Like, I was just proud of myself that I did this. I was just proud of myself that I actually did it. And then I presented my speech, and then my last sentence was, before you think, and I didn't finish. I actually, I remember revising, but my last sentence was like, before you think about littering, think about how that can affect the planet and our world as a whole. And then everyone were cheering and clapping. And I remember some people even did made up stories about like a school that's just girls, and it was like people were crazy. But mine was really current, and it was really, impactful, and talking about our current world and what's going on right now. And yeah, so I finished my speech, people started clapping, and I was just like, dang it. Like, I feel like I kind of blew it. I kind of messed up on some parts, but I was proud of myself, trophy or not, I was proud. I overcame something I never thought I could. And then I sat down, people were saying good job. People, my competitors said good job. Their family said good job. And I was just like, thank you. And my stomach stopped having butterflies, and I was just, I felt good after. And then other people started presenting their speeches, and they said, okay, everyone's done. That was a handful. And this guy was really freaking hilarious when he was talking to us. He tried to lighten the mood because we were nervous. So, and they said, okay, we have gathered our scores, and we're going to be placing the people, basically. And there was one guy, like, he was so good. Like, he talked about Franklin Roosevelt. I don't think it's Franklin. Not George Washington. It's the guy who invented like the stove and stuff like that. Oh, I'm so dumb. I think it's Benjamin Franklin. There we go. It was Benjamin Franklin. So we talked about him, and then after that, people started we started getting our places. And I remember the girl who talked about anxiety. She was so good. I was like, dang, she was good. Like, she never lost her place. She was so confident, and even that she was really small. That little body, like, there was so much in that little body of hers, because she was just, the way she looked and the way people saw her, it didn't matter to her because she just had so much fire. So yeah, they said, okay, it's time to get it's time to get the what's it called, it's time to grade these speeches, and yeah, we're gonna be placing people. First place was the Benjamin of Franklin guy. It wasn't me. My freaking trophy. I mean, my trophy. I remember like after a few years, like my brother and I were like freaking like fighting and like playing around. We accidentally broke my trophy, and I was like really upset and crying. And then I still have my my medallion thing, my little like medal, but it's kind of like ripped up. But the way it worked, it was first place one person, and then second place was like a few people, and I think third place was like a few people, and I think I got second or third place, and I was like, that's kind of bad, but I was proud of myself. Like, I did something I never thought I could do, and I overcame something. And everyone started clapping, and then after the speech, there was this girl who was singing this song "Beautiful Day," just to lighten the mood. Like, after the speech, we had dinner. All of us had dinner, and we just had fun. And yeah, that was the end of the day, and then we went home. And then my dad oh my god, my dad texted the family, didn't he win? Did he win? And he said no, he didn't win, but he got like second place. And it's like, oh, I knew he got it. I thought he was gonna win it. And the family, and then after that, I was thinking about like wanting to get more involved, even thinking about singing for our church, and because I just wanted to get involved. They said, what, you want to sing for our church? And I said, shut the front door. And then I was like, yep, I want to sing. And then I said, sing a little bit, and I started singing one of the songs they commonly sing. I was like, you got soul, you got flair, I love your voice. And I was like, I try. And then yeah, that was basically it. We left, went home, and I mean, it was done. And everyone at the family, we had dinner, we were talking to each other, we texted the family, we were FaceTiming the family about what happened. And yeah, that's the end of this story. And that was kind of like a new chapter closed in my life. And I overcame something. And from that point on, public speaking wasn't a fear anymore. It was, I got like a rush every time I presented something to the class, or we had a presentation to do. I owned that classroom. It's about owning who you are and owning that room. It doesn't matter what people think. It doesn't matter if people laugh at you. It's just owning. Even if you screw up a few times, you don't stutter, you don't falter, you keep going. And something I want to leave you with this story is, this isn't anything. You may not grow fast. You may not grow exponentially in anything you do, but you keep going, and you stay dedicated, even if most people would have quit, because there's people who quit who realized what it took. There's people who cried and were upset that they didn't make it. There was people who, started judging me, saying like, whatever, Nick, like, I don't think you're going to do this. And I worked harder than all those other people. I was rehearsing, and I was dedicated, and that's what I want you bloggers to do. I create content for bloggers too, and I do story time on the side. Like, you have to work harder, and also work smarter, but also work harder than other bloggers in your niche that are doing the exact same thing as you, big or small, and look at what they're doing and see what they're missing, and know your audience, and know the trends, and know what people want, and kind of interweave what's going on right now into what you're doing. And that's kind of what I want to leave you with this story. Is like, you can do anything you set your mind to. Like, you really can. And if you just stick with it, and you shut out the crap, you shut out what people think of you, you shut out the opinions, and you shut out that voice in your head saying you can't do this, you shut out that voice in your head saying like nothing's gonna happen and nothing's happening. You keep going even though you feel like nothing's gonna happen. But yeah, that's that story. Like, I know that story was intense. It was a lot. It was really a lot, but it really made me a bigger person, and it just helped me own who I am. And I'm really proud that chapter in my life is closed, and that was the next chapter. And that's it. And there's more story times gonna be coming out for sure, and I think I'm actually gonna upload one today, in this outfit, because it's been a while since I've uploaded, and I just want to treat you guys, and I like, don't think I'm leaving you guys. It's just a lot was going on these few days, and I was really feeling down a couple of days, because I kind of just feel like, in my family, like, I'm really different from my whole family because of like my dreams and like really what I want to do. And my family is really scared that like what I'm doing is like really risky and like really scary, and they don't really know like where's this gonna go. And like I know that, you know, it's a generation gap. Like your family, like whether it's family, yeah, family, like they're not going to understand where you're coming from, because it's just the opportunities now is different from the opportunities like 10, 11 years ago. Because the opportunity in 10 years was you just go to school. Like no one talked about YouTube, no one talked about podcasting, blogging. Like you just go to school and you get a degree and get a job and you're set. But now you can be anything. You can be anything if you know yourself and you believe in yourself and you shut out the opinions and what people think of you. And I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna happen, you know, whether my family is gonna believe in this or they're just kind of gonna be like kind of neutral or like not believe in this. But you know, all I have at the end of the day is really myself and you guys. And you guys just, I love you guys, and I'm just gonna keep creating and keep pushing and be out of the box and just try to create content that is out of this world crazy, because I don't want to be that stereotypical blogger robot. I want to be different, and I want us to be different, and I want us to really achieve big things and great things and change the world together. But if that's what you want, you know, share this, and you know, share this to another person who's been going through some things. And I think the next story time video, I'm actually going to be trying the playing video games and talking at the same time, just to spice it up a bit. But thank you for sitting through this story, and I'm glad that you know, I'm pretty sure you probably enjoyed it if you stayed this long. And I just want to let you know that you can do anything if you believe in yourself. And yeah, so I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. You know, I'm trying to like get more confident, like I said, on camera, be more energetic, and just try to you know, amplify who I am and not be like this quiet, you know, shy person. Just, you know, be loud and be myself and amplify that. But yes, I'll see you in the next one. I'm going to be editing this video, and then the next video is going to be coming out later today about this story is not as sweet and you know, nice as this story. It was kind of crazy, but yeah, we're gonna go over it today, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to find your place in the writing space and go out there and crush it for me and be the best blogger I know you will be. Goodbye. And by the way, the speeches are on YouTube. I tried to find my speech out of all those speeches that were out on YouTube, and I just couldn't find it. So maybe if you guys look up Tropicana speech program, you can possibly find my speech. But I'm scared. Like, I don't know. But yeah, really.
Puffball is out. Yes.